renewable energy and battery storage system. I am your master of ceremonies, Hector A. Cruz David. Today we find ourselves in Anegada not because it's partly cloudy, 83 degrees Fahrenheit, zero precipitation, wind of 17 miles per hour, and 73% humidity. It's actually a great day to be in Anegada for other reasons. However, we are here today to mark another milestone. This is the first utility-scale solar farm in the British Virgin Islands because it will supply power at a utility level instead of just to a local user or users such as a single building, an apartment, or a group of houses. It will be the first of its kind, and we are doing this right here in Anegada, the gem of the Virgin Islands, the home of the Anegada lobster, and now the home of the first utility scale solar farm in the British Virgin Islands. By show of hands, how many of you are excited to be present at this historical moment for Anegada and the British Virgin Islands? For this momentous occasion, I would like to speak to you more about the benefits of going green, but there are many presenters here who can provide you a greater insight in this regard. This morning, I would like to acknowledge members of government, presenters, and invited guests. I'll start with the Honorable Dr. The Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, Premier, Minister of Finance, and 7th District Representative. The Honorable Kai M. Reimer, Deputy Premier, Minister of Communications and Works, and 5th District Representative. The Honorable Mitch Turnbull, Minister of Natural Resources and Labor, and 2nd District Representative. The Honorable Shireen D. Flax Charles, Junior Minister of Trade and Economic Development, Territorial at-Large Representative. The Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, and 9th District Representative. Mr. Leroy A.E. Abraham, General Manager, Beaver Electricity Corporation. Ms. Simone Penn, Deputy General Manager. Mr. Rob Wallace, CEO and founder of Power 52. Carrie-Ann Anderson, O'Neill Webster. At this time, I would like to invite one of Anegada's very own ambassadors, Miss Anegada Teen Queen, Miss Gorcia Johnson, to perform the national anthem and territorial song. Please join me as I welcome her to the lectern.
Of the huts of history, Spain, our ancestors bled and died. But with strength and willpower we overcame to restore the Virgin Islands' pride. To preserve the beauty we devise a plan to obtain ownership of this precious land. Educating our people is the golden key to maintain the success of this territory. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant
Let's give a round of applause to young ladies for our awesome performance. Our first speaker is the Premier, Minister of Finance. Oh, my apologies. Invocation, can't miss that. At this moment, I would like to invite Miss Romelia Smith for the invocation.
All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Dear God, our Heavenly Father, you has made us, and you provide for us, O Heavenly Father, and we thank you for that. And we know that this that is happening today, that you knew about it long about us, and you have helped in the planning. We ask you, Lord, to bless everyone that has had anything to do with it, to bring it to this day when it will probably come to fruitage. I ask you, Heavenly Father, to continue to bless them and guide them, rule within our lives, and continue to bless our beautiful Virgin Islands. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that blessing.
We're thankful for that prayer at this moment. Seeing that we've been blessed, we have blessed this ceremony, I would now take this time to invite our fourth speaker. He is our Premier, Minister of Finance, and 7th District Representative. He was elected to the Parliament as a member of the Virgin Islands Party in 2019. As Minister of Education, he was one of the sponsors that partnered with the Unite BVI, HLSCC, and BVIC to make resources available for the first solar technician cohort, some of who are present in our congregation and can boast that they are now NAPSET certified associates. Join me as I invite Dr. the Honorable Natalie Whitley to the lectern.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Such a wonderful day to be in Anegada. I'm so proud to be an Anegadian. The representative for the 9th District often tries to deny me my Anegadian heritage. But I'm proud to say my great-grandfather was born right here in Anegada. Don't worry, I'm not looking any land. But I'm proud to be an Anegadian. And certainly, I acknowledge the protocol which has been established, but allow me to acknowledge the Deputy Premier, my cabinet colleague, Honorable Turnbull, the member for the 9th District, as well as our territorial at large representative, Honorable Shireen Flax-Charles, and of course the immediate past chair of the BVI EC and all the board members, the general manager and staff. And let me certainly acknowledge as well, we have a former deputy premier here, as well as a former minister for the environment, Dr. Kedrick Pickering. I'm glad to have you here, sir. And all of us who have gathered here, I certainly have to big up my brother right here, Brother Rob Wallace. Very happy that we've gotten to this point where we can break ground.
Amen.
It's a special day for the people of the Virgin Islands, especially for the people of Anegada. Let me say compliments of the season. And I take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a happy and healthy, prosperous 2023. Like everyone here, I too am very happy to see the Anegada Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System project arriving at the stage where we are breaking ground for on-site works. Now, I'll be even happier when we commission this project in November 2023, giving Anegada energy resilience and energy security. All our people on all our islands, regardless of their distance from Road Town, deserve the best amenities, the best service from their government, to enjoy the best quality of life, and to have the best prospects for their future. That's something you can clap for. Don't you believe you deserve it? You deserve it. This is something that all the members of the government, of this government, are committed to. Others this morning will speak about the technical details of this project and its benefits. But I just want to point out that by making the transition to renewable energy and Anegada, we'll be saving you, the taxpayers. We'll be saving you money via the BVI Electricity Corporation. Considerable costs when it comes to generating electrical power for Anegada. The Anegada Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System project will reduce the diesel consumption for power generation on Anegada by 95%, as I am advised. That is truly significant. So there will be savings from the reduced usage of diesel fuel in the first instance. And then further, because there is a cost in shipping the fuel to Anegada, which is an added cost. Based on the current method of power generation, BVI-EC has had to subsidize the cost of electricity to Anegada residents. By lowering the production costs, there will be some relief to BVI-EC as well, which we're happy for. Reduction in the use of fossil fuel further reduces the Virgin Islands' already small carbon footprint, which is helpful to the environment and combating global warming. I must also point out that Anegadians will get an improved and more reliable electricity supply from this new equipment, and this will have a positive impact on their quality of life, the operation of businesses, and the comfort of residents and visitors. Thanks to the solar training program at the H. Lavity Stowe Community College, we have persons in the Virgin Islands who are trained in the installation and maintenance of solar equipment. And therefore, I expect that this power system will be kept properly maintained after it is commissioned in November 2023, which also means that those persons who are proactive in getting the training when it was offered can look forward to regular employment through this power plant and the other renewable energy projects that will come in the future as the Virgin Islands Going Green initiatives gather further speed. I acknowledge the contributions of Unite BVI, of the Caribbean Energy Institute, led by Mr. Rob Wallace himself. Participants in that program, please stand and be recognized. Any participants here? I saw several of them here. Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause for their proactiveness and their insight in being here. And we have persons who are part of this program right here from Anegada. The Anegadians on this project, stand up and be recognized. Who went through the training? I saw them somewhere around. They're already getting started, I see. We want to recognize the Anegadians who are on this training. And it is not just the Virgin Islands that has to accelerate going green. The whole world has to do this, and time is running out. Anegada, we are being excellent stewards of our environment and excellent examples to the world. Scientists have forecasted that unless serious action is taken to transition to sustainable energy and to cut the consumption of fossil fuels by 2035, the world's climate is going to cross a tipping point where irreversible damage will be done and there will be no return. Man's short-sightedness has seen global temperatures rise by over 1 degree Celsius since the start of the industrial age in the late 1800s. At the current rate, the global temperature is projected to warm by about 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to 1880 temperatures. By 2050, and 2 to 4 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. These numbers may sound small, but the effects can be and will be catastrophic. In fact, we are already experiencing catastrophic effects from global warming. Ice sheets are melting. The ocean currents are being altered. And this is affecting marine life, fishing stocks, corals, and so forth. Islands in some parts of the world are already disappearing. Many of them flat and low-lying, just like Anegada. Where this has happened, people have lost their homes and their way of life. It is as if they were wiped out from existence. This is extremely serious. Global warming is causing climate change. We are seeing extreme heat and drought in some places, shortage of water for basic household needs and such activities as farming. Other places are experiencing extreme rain and floods. Drought and floods lead to food shortages, and scarcity causes food prices to rise to uncontrollable levels. Heating up of the ocean not only changes the currents, but it is responsible for more frequent hurricanes and storms, and more fierce and destructive storms at that. We have fresh memories of the destruction from that severe hurricane. We have fresh memories of the destruction that severe hurricanes can exact on people's lives, livelihoods, and homes. We have also seen the destruction from coastal erosion due to extreme weather. And we can go on and on about the reality of global warming, climate change, and their destructive impacts. With these kind of impacts, it is the small island countries that are at the greatest risk. But then again, we are seeing some larger countries also getting hit by very destructive climatic events, whether in the form of tornadoes or hurricanes and floods. But can I tell you that while all this evidence is out there, there are people who refuse to stop their destruction of the environment. And some of them are aided and abetted by their governments. They show a reckless disregard, not just for the environment, but also for human life, because their destruction of the planet is also destroying lives. Small island developing states contribute in total just 1% of global carbon emissions. Yet, the SIDS are paying the highest price and are at the highest risk from all the threats I just mentioned and more. And they, with their small economies and limited resources, have to find money to cope with the impacts, such as coastal erosion, floods, and drought. In the Caribbean alone, the damage caused by climate-related and earth-related hazards is estimated at $12.6 billion per year. And the high-polluting countries, which are the ones most responsible for the loss, suffering, and expense faced by SIDS, have been finding all kinds of avenues to avoid helping these countries that are being wiped out by their irresponsible actions. Year after year, over decades, the Conference of Parties, or COP, summits have been held to address the climate crisis. Targets were set for raising money to finance the transition out of carbon-intensive fuels to sustainable energy and to help the vulnerable countries like the Virgin Islands to mitigate against the effects that are already in motion from the activities of those high-polluting countries. And for decades, most of the biggest culprits have not been paying their fair share into the fund. Some of them have engaged in schemes to make token contributions just to look good, while they continue in their nefarious ways. Some of them have used their influence and their power in the international organizations to create loopholes so that they can control who gets access to financial support and who do not, and to escape being held accountable for their lackadaisical attitude. At the just concluded COP27 summit, attended by our current Minister for the Environment, Honorable Turnbull, this summit, which was held in Egypt last month, a new set of commitments were made, which have been described as a breakthrough agreement on a new loss and damage fund for vulnerable countries. We have to thank some of the relentless leaders from the region for fighting those big countries so that our cause is not lost. Loss and damage refers to the negative consequences that arise from the unavoidable risk of climate change, like rising sea levels, prolonged heat waves, desertification, the acidification of the sea, and extreme events such as bushfires, species extinction, and crop failures. As the climate crisis continues to unfold, these events will happen more and more frequently, and the consequences will become more severe. There's still some work to be done to set up the Loss and Damage Fund, and part of the fight is ensuring that there are no loopholes that will work against the SIDS, as happened in the past. The Sharm el-Sheikh Implementation Plan, which was accepted at COP27, highlights that a global transformation to a low-carbon economy will require investments of at least $4 to $6 trillion globally, annually, and developed countries as well as financial institutions have been challenged to make it happen because the clock is running out. Part of this plan targets enhancing resilience for people living in the most climate vulnerable communities by 2030. I mention these things because as people who are living in places that are very vulnerable to climate change, we have to pay close attention to what is taking place, and we have to become even more active and vocal in the fight to stop the global temperatures from passing the point of no return. We have to insist that the SIDS are not being cheated, that they do not get the climate mitigation and adaptation funding, that they get the climate mitigation and adaptation funding that they deserve and which they need. We need to be aware of the types of funding programs, where they are, how they operate, and how to access them. And we need to submit applications and proposals to access these funds. There are programs for which government must be the applicant, but there are also programs where the private sector can submit the proposals. So we have to rally every resource at our disposal, and we have to move quickly. The private sector would also be interested in these kinds of programs because there are business opportunities for service providers in the implementation of climate adaptation and mitigation projects. I urge the private sector to develop the talent and the capacity to handle these kinds of projects, because those kinds of capabilities will be in high demand and will be essential to saving our planet. And with that, I can circle back to the Anegada Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System project. This is an opportunity for the Virgin Islands to advance our country. It is an opportunity to show the world what is possible with genuine commitment, where if a small island developing state can make the transition to clean energy, then there's no excuse. I'll repeat that. If a small island developing state can make the transition to clean energy, then there's no excuse for richer countries not to do their part. It is an opportunity for us to develop the skills and a pool of skilled personnel in this field, and to even export our services, like Mr. Rob Wallace is doing. We must make the most of these opportunities. I look forward to the completion of this project and all the benefits that will flow from it. May God continue to bless and protect our Virgin Islands. May He bless and protect this project, and may he bless and protect the people of Anegada. Anegada, we love you. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, for your great remarks. It has been said that there's honey in the rock in the Virgin Islands. And if there is, it must be in Anegada. The Honorable Natalia Wheatley mentioned that he does not want land in Anegada, but I say give this man land. He deserves it. Just a small piece. The project that we're embarking on will bring about energy resilience and energy security, as the Premier mentioned, 95% reduction in fuel costs, reduction in Virgin Islands, already small carbon footprint. We're approaching a tipping point in global temperatures and getting to a point of no return. Temperatures getting to a point of no return. Climate change is real. Do your part to slow down this environmental crisis. We have the opportunity here today to advance in this energy transition into clean energy. And we are at the forefront and an example to small island states and larger countries. Our next speaker brings more than 15 years of global experience as an electrical and energy engineer, project manager, and business consultant. His expertise in renewable energy systems, designs and development, system implementation, training, and technology management has traversed countries in the North America, Africa, and right here in the Caribbean. Rob has developed and built more than 200 megawatts of solar and wind projects and has worked in the power market, focusing on frequency response, energy arbitrage, and battery storage. Join me as I welcome Mr. Power 52, Rob Wallace, to the lectern.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good morning. I get a good morning from everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mr. Abraham, for your leadership. Thank you, Ms. Flax, all the family and friends, all Ms. Penn. We couldn't be here without you. Thank God. Thank my beautiful wife who puts up with all my nonsense, who's sitting here in the front row videotaping. So I thank you. And thank you all for being here today. I give her a round of applause. Yeah. So I'm going to make this quick, right? So every time we do a class, we start with what's called a power principle, right? And a power principle is a Bible-based principle that we use to not only build ourselves, but build our communities. And the one that I thought about today on the ride over was power principle number 28. And I'm not sure who remembers that one, but power principle number 28 says, keep your dreams clearer than your thoughts. Remember that one? I see you shake your head. Keep your dreams clearer than your thoughts. Keep your dreams. The vision that God has given you for your life, the project, the opportunity, keep it clearer than your thoughts. What the world says you can't do, what people say you can't do, what people will say we can't do as black people, right? And so I thought about that as I came here because there's three main components to any dream. And I don't want to preach today, but since I have the microphone, I'm not a politician, but since I have the microphone. Number one, you have to have a vision, right? You have to be able to see where you want to go. Just like BVIAC saw a vision. Just like Honorable Pinkley saw a vision. Just like the Premier saw a vision. BVI saw a vision of clean and renewable clean power being built here in Anegada years ago, right? Part two of that is preparation. You have to prepare for the opportunity. See how the Lord calmed the wind so y'all can hear what I'm saying? Y'all hear that, right? Y'all heard the wind stop, right? The second piece is preparation. It is preparing the people to take advantage of the opportunity here for them. It is the studying. It's the 13 weeks of hard work. It's the certification test they had to go through. It's the solar boot camp they had to do for 40 hours. It's all the fall protection, all the hours that the Anegada team came over to HLSCC every day for 13 weeks to study. It's the preparation, right? And the last piece is the dream, is building the actual dream, right? And so my dream for this project, I'm now going to realize I want all the students who are in the class to come up here on the stage with me. Because this project, come on up, come on. I don't have to call you up by name. Come on, Daryl. I saw you walking up the street. I saw you coming in. I saw everybody coming in. Come up here on the stage because this is the thing. You don't see this anywhere else in the world. I want y'all on the stage too. Don't even. Yeah. You don't see this anywhere else in the world. The world where you have black and brown men and women leading something like this, which is the first project in the world for a 100% sustainable island. Let me just say that again, in the entire world. So I want to make sure that every country, every news channel, every person that said people can't learn, I want you to see what these young brothers and sisters are going to do here in Anegada, because you don't see this. If you turn on the news, you turn on social media, Instagram, you don't see this. They don't highlight this. And so I want to make sure that we take the opportunity to acknowledge what they have done in preparation and to acknowledge what they're going to do going forward. So let's give them a round of applause. Don't move. The second thing I want to do is I want Akeem to come up here and speak. So Akeem is, you're going to speak, brother. We did this plenty of times. Akeem is not only the project manager for this project, he is local to BVI, and he now works for Core Development, which is our EPC partner for the construction of this project. So let me tie it all together. The project is being built by local people. The project is being managed by local people. The dollars from the project stay where? In the community here, right? And this is how you power a nation. You power a nation by empowering the people. That's our mission as Power 52. And you see it right here, closed circle. So I'm going to introduce Akeem and say a few words. Speak from the heart.
Good morning, everyone. Rob kind of put me on the spot. I don't have anything prepared to say. I'm just really thankful for getting this opportunity. And all my classmates, we put in a lot of work. And everything that he's been saying is not just talk. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I was the last one in the class, and I just try to work hard, and opportunities came my way, and I'm just trying to make sure everyone in the class gets the same opportunity that I got. Working with Core Development, Power 52, I've had an opportunity to, shadow them on some other projects, and I can say that they are an incredibly talented and capable company and bunch. I've never seen a group of people work so well together. So I'll just close off by saying this project is going to happen, and there's no future that exists where it's not going to be a success. Everyone's going to come together, everyone from the class, and we're going to get this project built, and it's going to be a great example for what everyone in the class, in the BVI, in Anegada can do. Thank you.
I'm going to let one more person speak, but I got to be careful because if I give him the mic, he would talk all day. My man there. Anegada, Mr. Anegada himself. About 2 minutes.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for making the travel to Anegada.
That's your son right there.
Where he
That's your
is.
son. Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, right in.
See me, see this.
Exodus. Look. Yes, I. Chin up. Yes, I. So, speaking as a testimony of the course and what Power 52 and the solar training did for me, traveling to Anegada, I relocated to Anegada after coming for Lobster Fest. I had no intention of staying here. But them same two bag I traveled with for the weekend, still there in my grandmother's old house. You understand? I understood early on what the knowledge, what the history, what it mean, and the person who had turned he back on his heritage embraced it fully. Since then, I went on to serve my people as far as becoming chairman of the Anegada Lands Committee. But more so, I wanted to give to the community And then this opportunity came along where 4 or 5 students from Anegada could get training in a new trade. For me, I in piping specialist. I've been doing it for like 10 years. So the opportunity to have another NCCR in an up-and-coming market was important to me. And like Rob said, that trial, going there, making sure we have transportation to go to school, we study, we have enough time as a class to come and study together. Everybody here like each other, brother. This is a reunion for us. We ain't even say to one another, but this is a reunion. There's a lot of energy in this place. God, I remember him when he was struggling, he remember when I was struggling. And now we here. Things that take time. I want to give a testimony to something that happened to me previously, and it fits perfectly with today. As a young entrepreneur, I wanted to film St. Thomas Carnival. Me and my cousins wanted to get together. We thought that if we ever do that, that would be something magnanimous. We'll take the carnival whole meditation to a whole nother level. And I sit in the bus in my brain one evening trying to cram everything to get do for this particular time. Like. And my aunt turned to me and she said, Daryl, you ever thought if you just walk your eye there and say, okay, I'm going to prepare from now for next carnival instead of trying to rush this carnival, you're going to get what it is you need to get. And look, once that wrinkled my brain, ever since then, the patience take hold. So all of us, this is a beautiful moment for all of us because all of us was sitting in class awaiting this day. So it manifests. And it don't, sometimes when it don't manifest in your time, you might say that, oh, you might find something alternative to say to the situation, but sometimes God will put what you need exactly when you need it at the right time. Nothing done right before your time. You understand? So for me to be here, transitioning from America, saying to myself, I know what kind of money I used to make in piping, and then to come to Anegada of all places, and now had the opportunity to have a NABCEP certification and NCCCR, I don't think you know what I mean in the outside world. That means that any local with this kind of certification could go anywhere in the world as a certified professional and receive the payment associated with the craft that they learn. So I need you to look at it like that, because those are the certifications that got me through the door when I was doing my other specialty in piping. So I want to say thank you for coming here. Hopefully when the project here finish, we'll meet here again, rewarding a successful job. And now you could see that the growth and development happen where the workers now turn to businessmen, where we have manufacturing of solar energy, where we have a union of workers, new electrician classes, and just take the young men and teach them the trade. Don't just run them away. Teach them the trade as their apprentice and really have something going on here. There's no reason why the BVI, with the abundance of sun in the BVI, that we cannot be in 10 years solely energy renewable state running in the Caribbean as a model moving forward, and Anegada is the best place to start. So I want to, in closing, thank everybody for coming. This is a long time happening. We ain't reached the finish line yet, but we're getting there. Okay? Thank you.
That was good. That was good. And we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge one of the few of the queens in our class. You want to say a few words? No. Well, we're going to give her a round of applause because she's out here working. And it's men and women like these that make this project happen. So I appreciate you. That's it. I'm done. This is about them. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, let's give them a round of applause again. Mr. Wallace for his remarks. The power principle actually received the book. I was in the course, 52 power principle. Principle number 8. You remember what it is? Keep your dreams clearer than your thoughts. Have a vision, preparation for opportunities, and building the dream. You heard the speakers from the first cohort and their testimonials. I'm excited to see the great work that they will achieve in collaboration with other experts. Our next item is the Anegada Methodist Church Steel Pan Orchestra. I remember being in the steel pan years ago when I attended the Alderscalde Primary School, and I was a tenor, a player. And it was located right next to the Girls Guide. It was a wooden building. I'm not sure if anyone remembers that, but I remember playing there. It was awesome. Join me as the Anegada Methodist Church Band plays the musical selection. Join me in welcoming them. Let's give another round of applause to the Anegada Methodist Church Steel Pan Orchestra for that, with those two wonderful selections. It's kind of late to wish you a Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas regardless. And the song reminds us to give love. We shouldn't only give love on Christmas Day. We should give love now and beyond, right? Into next year. Our next speaker is the Deputy Premier, Minister of Communication and Works, and the 5th District Representative. He was elected to Parliament as a member of the Virgin Islands Party in February 2019. He began his career in the Ministry of Communication and Works and worked as a Deputy Commissioner in the BVI Department of Motor Vehicles before becoming the Commissioner in 2014. Join me as I welcome the Honorable Kai M. Reimer to the lectern.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Good morning. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. Good afternoon. I know we feel a little far away from you. I think they say COVID is about nearly ended, but you seem a little way off over there. But I say good afternoon to each and every one of you. And I thank the band for reminding us the reason for the season. And we must always give God thanks, continue to love and support each other. As the protocol has already ably been established, I want to say again a good afternoon to all the beautiful people of the Virgin Islands. I'm extremely pleased that we are finally able to break ground for what is perhaps one of the most revolutionary and transformative initiatives in Anegada and in the Virgin Islands as a whole. This is a major step in our transition to green and sustainable energy. This project is long overdue, and that is an understatement. It is overdue in the first sense that with everything we know about the damaging effects of fossil fuels, a project of this nature should have been initiated long time ago. The world is playing catch up with the climate crisis, and some people and some countries have still yet not gotten the message that this is running out, that time is running out where we can save our planet. Secondly, this project got delayed due to COVID-19 pandemic, which struck, as we all know, in 2020. And had it not been for the pandemic, this renewable energy project would have been completed about a year ago. So with the time frame from this groundbreaking, we expect to see it completed on time. If we don't know our history, we don't know where we're going, we would recall that it was in June 2019 that the BVI Electricity Corporation, they executed an advisory services agreement with DNV GL Energy for support in the preparation of the technical specifications for the renewable energy equipment to be installed and used on Anegada, which would consist of a combined solar PV and battery energy storage system. Then, with the technical specification determined, BVIEC issued a request for proposal in October 2019 for the procurement and installation of a combined solar PV and battery energy storage system, BESS, on the island of Anegada for a combined capacity of 2.1 megawatts. During this phase of the process, and it's highlighted in our program, but I think it's necessary to reiterate that during this process, 135 companies, included some big players in the renewable energy industry, requested a copy of the RFP, that RFP document. 76 were provided with a copy of the RFP based on the screening process. Some 30 of those companies sent signed confirmation of the intent to participate in the mandatory site visit and the Q&A, which took place in December 2019. At the close of the RFP submission deadline in February 2020, 5 companies submitted bids. In July 2020, BVIEC announced that the Anegada Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Energy Storage System, I want to call it HARBESS, project was awarded to Power 52 Clean Energy Access LLC with a projected completion date of November 2021. But as I mentioned, of course, by July 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic had already disrupted global business, travel, shipping, and the general movement of people and goods. So it was not practical to be able to do any meaningful work, especially on a project of this nature. But thankfully, there was understanding among all the parties involved, and in November 2021, BVIEC and Power 52 executed the contract for the Anegada Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System in the sum of $4,687,944.72. I know what I'm about to say have been said publicly by others on prior occasions, but for the sake of transparency, I want to repeat it. The economic impacts of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine conflict have affected the price of just about everything under the sun, and this project being no exception. I'm advised by the BVIEC that the contract does make provisions for variations, and due to the occurrence of certain changes in market conditions, including increases in commodity prices and freight costs, it is expected that there will be a variance in the completed cost of this project. As I mentioned, this project has a substantial completed and commissioning date of November 2023. And we are hoping that that would be the Christmas gift to Anegada next year. To everyone who have made this possible, I say thank you. I must acknowledge the General Manager, Sir Leroy Abraham, and his team. Let's give him a round of applause. The board of Electricity Corporation, the past chairman, and all the members, we appreciate the work done to get us to this point. And let me say that a lot of credit is due to the BVIEC, because the BVIEC has been very proactive in promoting the agenda for the Virgin Islands to go green for a very long time now. I'm reminded that the BVIEC included renewable energy as an alternative energy source in its power development plan for the period 2003 to 2013, and has initiated several studies and exploratory exercises to assist in this transition. The BVIEC played a critical role in the revision as well of the legislation in 2015 to permit renewable energy as an energy source within the Virgin Islands, to the development of the National Energy Policy in 2016, and to the development of the regulations for renewable energy in 2018, which gave us a comprehensive legislative and legal framework to advance the subject of renewable energy within the Virgin Islands. The BVIEC did a lot of work for us to have great tide renewable energy systems in the Virgin Islands, such as the ones that the Youth Empowerment Program building in Fat Hogs Bay, Brigado Flax Educational Center in Virgin Gorda, and for us to have the net billing system where private residents can sell their excess power from their personal renewable energy system back to the grid. And I want to also make mention that there was a 2-year free import duty done by the government to import all renewable energy for free. That's another initiative for us to encourage renewable energy. The Anegada Hybrid and Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System project has a lot of benefits for the Virgin Islands and for Anegada in particular. I don't want any land on Anegada, but if we give the Premier some, I will visit once he builds his property. As I mentioned earlier, the fossil fuel is harmful to the environment. Therefore, the first benefit is that we are moving in the direction of cleaner energy, which is more healthy for the environment. The longer-term goal is for us to get to around 70 to 80% renewable energy across all the Virgin Islands, and this is a major step forward. As mentioned before, this project will reduce diesel, produce electricity, and Anegada by 95%. We also have to consider that BVIEC subsidizes the cost of electricity for the residents here on Anegada. And as we all know, it is not connected to the main electrical grid, which supplies 11 islands in the Virgin Islands. And because of this, the revenue derived from Anegada does not cover the cost of maintaining its operations. Particularly, the cost of fuel for Anegada, as we understand, is significantly higher than the fuel used to produce electricity on the main grid. In fact, the price of fossil fuels have skyrocketed worldwide, especially in the last year due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So we will be reducing the overall cost and reducing the financial burden on the BVIEC through this project. Now, as we transition to renewable energy for all the Virgin Islands, we will be moving to energy resiliency and energy security for the Virgin Islands. When this project is commissioned Anegada will have a more reliable supply of electrical energy, and this enhances the resiliency and energy security here in Anegada. Energy resilience and energy security are very important for the development of Anegada, for the businesses on the island, and for them to prosper, and for residents to have a more comfortable life. Now, the Premier and I and the rest of the government, we want to see Anegada realizing its full potential, and we are committed to making this happen. So a lot of good things are happening, and we have to pray that there are no interruptions in 2023, as we saw with the pandemic, so that this renewable energy project can be brought to a smooth completion by November 2023. And of course, with the excellent quality from Power 52 that we expect. No, it would be remiss of me that I come to the 9th district and we not recognize the representative for the district. So I just ask the representative to come forward and say good afternoon to his people and acknowledge him and his commitment to this project as well. Before he comes, I look forward to the commissioning and to returning to witness the completion of this project. And I'm happy for all the people of Anegada, for all the positive things that this project will be a catalyst for. Before the rep come, I just want to say thank you. And again, I wish the MD, I know he put in for his go home early. We wish him well. And we appreciate all that he has done for all the years that he had worked at BVI Electricity Corporation. So let us give him a parting round of applause before he comes to the podium. I say thank you. Rep.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer, for inviting me to say just a few words today. It's indeed a red letter day in Anegada, when we're not only showing ourselves but the world that we are serious about the effects of climate change. This project here represents the reduction of fossil fuel use, and we know fossil fuels contribute to the climate change that's happening all around us. We face acidification of the oceans, sea level rise, stronger, more frequent hurricanes, and what's not. Studies have shown that the cost of energy is directly related to how quickly you can build wealth. Hopefully, when this plant is finished, we'll see a reduction in energy, the cost of energy here in Anegada. Thereby, more businesses can save more money from running their businesses on lower energy costs. I must agree with Mr. Wallace when he said, the way you power a nation is to empower its people. And I'm so glad to see the Anegadians were involved in this project and they were present here today. We must show the world that we do care about the environment. And while we're here and we're looking at alternative energy, we must also consider waste here in Anegada. I've said it before, there's no place for waste here in Anegada. And it shows the best place to start in the 9th district. I always say the way the 9th district goes is the way the BVI will go. So this alternative energy here, I do believe, will spread throughout the BVI in short order. With just those few words, I thank you for your kind attention.
Please give both ministers a round of applause, please. Finally, we're breaking ground, said the Honorable Kairema. It's a major step into green and sustainable energy. The project would have been completed a year ago had it not been for COVID-19. And everyone can appreciate that. 2.1 megawatts would be installed right here. Project commissioning date expected to be November 2023. What a Christmas gift. I agree. That would be a great Christmas gift for the people of Anegada. It took lots of careful planning and frameworks to put in place to make this day possible. Benefits for cleaner energy. We'll get a 70 to 80% renewable energy. Well, plans are to have 70 to 80% renewable energy across the Virgin Islands. The BVIC will no longer have to subsidize the major amount of the fuel costs. More renewable energy supplies in Anegada. Energy security and efficiency and resiliency seems to be the key word here. It has to be resilient and secure. The government is committed to further advancing the project to fruition so that the project can be a catalyst for future projects across the Virgin Islands. That we will get towards 70-80% renewable. And Minister Wheatley mentioned the impacts of fossil fuels. The reduction and reliance on fossil fuel will, in turn, make a reduction in your bill. Our next speaker, and I can say the man of the hour, the General Manager and CEO of the British Virgin Islands Electricity Corporation, a position he has held since 2000. During his over 30 years of tenure at the company, Mr. Abraham held a number of key positions, including operations and transmission and distribution engineer. Under his leadership, BVIC has undergone numerous transitions towards its goal of being a regional leader in the electric utility business. He is a member of the Board of Directors and current chairman of the Membership and Marketing Committee of the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation, CARELEC. Please join me as I invite Mr. A.E. Abraham to the lectern.
Good afternoon, everyone. From how windy the day is, I'm here contemplating if we shouldn't have put in wind turbines as opposed to a solar array. Wow, what a windy day. But what a magnificent day it is. I will like to recognize the protocol which has already been established. And I start by quoting Romans 8:28, which states that we know all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. What a journey this has been to get to this point. 7 long years. I want to repeat that. 7 long years since the BVI Electricity Corporation made its first request in 2015 to increase the size of the property where the power station is situated for the purpose of installing a hybrid renewable energy system on Anegada. Some of you may ask the question, why is the territory's first major large-scale renewable energy project being done in Anegada? Well, other than the fact that, as been stated many times, that the BVIEC subsidizes operations to provide electricity to the residents here, Anegada, as we all know, is not only one of the most ecologically and environmentally pristine islands, but as God would have it, it also possesses the best topography to support the construction of a large-scale solar array. Therefore, this project will achieve a myriad of objectives. First and foremost, the reduction of the volume of fossil fuels required to produce electricity on the island, which will significantly reduce BVIEC having to subsidize operations. Of course, we're a business, so that'll be our first objective. The reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from the production of fossil fuel energy will aid in the environment on Anegada remaining pristine for generations to come. Position the BVI as a regional leader in the areas of energy transition and climate change mitigation. And it fosters the creation of a new renewable energy industry within the BVI, providing jobs to those who are uniquely qualified. It has already been stated the length of time BVIEC has been attempting to diversify energy production within the territory utilizing renewable energy. And believe it or not, I often tell my team, fact check me on this, it has been the same length of time since Tesla was founded, 2003. So that goes to show that things take time to nurture and develop. And similar to Tesla, the BVIEC is now maturing and coming to its own, because Tesla is now a household word. In March of 2019, BVIEC has processed 17 small-scale renewable energy interconnection applications, totaling approximately 425 kilowatts, most of which are grid-tied and feeding excess energy onto BVIEC's grid network. Another 8 applications are currently being processed, which, when completed, will increase the distributed generation capacity to 600 kilowatts, which is approximately twice the capacity required to supply the electrical demand on Anegada. This is certainly quite remarkable, recognizing that for over the past 2 years, we've been dealing with a global pandemic and more recently supply chain crisis and inflation. Albeit Anegada will have the first large-scale microgrid in the BVI, rest assured we have not forgotten the other major islands. Through the assistance of a technical assistance grant from the Canadian Support to the Energy Sector in the Caribbean Fund, BVIEC is well advanced in its development of a resilient solar PV and battery energy storage project at Paraquita Bay on Tortola. So Premier Wheatley, Deputy Premier, Minister Reimer, all BVIEC and our industry partners require at this time, and what we're waiting for, is the execution of the land lease. And I can assure you, by this time next year, we'll be using those shovels to break ground for the commencement of that project. BVIEC was recently awarded another technical assistance grant from Resembid, Expertise France, to support its efforts in developing a microgrid on the island of Virgin Gorda. And when I get back to the office tomorrow, that is my first task to execute the grant documents. So once again, Premier, Deputy Premier, the ball is in you all's court. None of us would ever forget how severely the BVI was affected in 2017 by those extreme weather events. And BVIEC remains highly motivated and committed in ensuring that the impact of any future disaster is mitigated. One thing we cannot deny is that climate change is real. And all of the climate crises that we see taking place all over the world, long gone are the days when something happens, we say, oh, it's a 100-year event. 100-year events are now every-year events. So we need to act. And again, I wish to state officially that BVIEC is extremely pleased that it has placed you first. And given the numerous challenges, I won't go into them, encountered along this journey, all I can say is that I count it all joy, as we have remained patient and resolute in our mission to deliver this project to you all. I came over yesterday evening, and some of you have expressed skepticism as to whether this project is going to take place. And I worked and toiled until I was able to make it happen, because some of the equipment has already arrived on island, but I wanted to make sure that you see it physically. There they are. There's a container full of modules and inverters that have already arrived on island. The proof is in the pudding. Okay? Over the course of the next weeks and months, the major equipment to construct the microgrid will be arriving the territory, and we will deliver this project, God willing. BVIEC is proud to partner with Power 52, Clean Energy Access, and their team in making this project a reality and moving purposely towards achieving the energy goals of the BVI. BVIEC and its consultants, D&V, will ensure that the system is constructed, employing best practices, as this is a major investment, recognizing how technologically sophisticated this installation will be. Now, those are some words, technologically sophisticated, okay? We have diesel generators. We're going to have a solar array. We're going to have a battery
And all three of them have to work in unison to ensure and maintain supply on Anegada. Okay? Sometimes it's difficult for two people to get along. There's three systems that have to get along and work in unison. BVIEC is also pleased that this project will be built utilizing the students who participated in the Solar Technician Training Program, providing them with valuable experience, technology transfer, and capacity strengthening, just to name a few. I want to emphasize most of those individuals possess their North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners certification, their NABCEP certification. That isn't a local certification. That isn't a regional certification. That is a globally recognized certification. These persons can go anywhere in the world, just like myself and Rob who have engineering degrees, okay, and work anywhere in the world with that certification. It is globally recognized. Premier Wheatley, Deputy Premier, Minister Reimer, on behalf of BVIEC, I wish to thank both of you for your committed and continued support of his laudable efforts to change the BVI's narrative. Because as you can see, BVI is on a trajectory to exceed the RE targets which are set. I also wish to thank the Board of Directors, and I especially want to recognize my former chairman, Mrs. Rosemary Flax, who is here, my deputy chairman, Mr. Wayne Robinson, as the young people say, big them up. Okay. For the significant role which they played in ensuring that we could achieve this milestone today. And it certainly would be remiss of me if I did not mention the phenomenal BVIEC team that God has blessed me to lead. And thank you very much, Anegada. As I said, we're going to deliver this project for you all. In closing, I decree, and we all agree that this project will run smoothly, incident-free, completed on time, on budget, and in accordance with God's perfect will. May God continue to bless these beautiful British Virgin Islands. I thank all of you for listening, and I take this opportunity to wish all of you the very best in the new year to come, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abraham. I'm not as tall as you. Thank you very much, Mr. Abraham. Can everyone give him a round of applause for his remarks? As Mr. Abraham said, this has been a journey, 7 years long. It's been a long time coming. Anegada was selected for as the first pilot because it has the right topography. It's perfect for this project. This provides job opportunities for those qualified. As usual, things take time. This took proper planning to be developed. Funding and legal work is on the way for other projects. You heard that. Material for any other project is right over there, waiting. And this project will employ persons from the first cohort. So get ready, guys, to be reskilled, be trained, to be empowered. And now, we're getting to the part that we've all been waiting for. But before we proceed to the groundbreaking ceremony, I would like to invite Ms. Simone Penn, the Deputy General Manager, to the lectern to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Protocol having been established, good afternoon. On behalf of BVI Electricity Corporation, we would like to extend sincere thanks and appreciation to you who have made this day possible. The government of the Virgin Islands, the board of directors of the BVI Electricity Corporation, our project managers, DNV, the Power 52 team, and the Core Development Group, Mr. Hector Cruz Jr., our Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Garcia Johnson for the National Anthem and Territorial Song, Mrs. Romalia Smith for the Invocation, Anegada Methodist Church Steel Pan Orchestra, Bella Blooms for the cheers, Mr. Naaman Chalwell for the tents, Ocean Dream Boat Charters, Fly BVI for our charter plane, Frontline Sound System for the stage, Trevon Lewis for the beautiful booklets and invitations that you have, Summit Printing, Mr. Richard John Marie for our DJ services, Mr. Keith Vanterpool of Exquisite Touch Decor, Anegada Beach Club for our accommodations, Mr. Lawrence Whitley for our transportation, Wonky Dog for our food catering, Mr. Avery Percival and his team for site preparations, Mr. Ralph Durant, the Anegada community for assisting with clearing the site and organizing the area. Special thanks goes out to Mr. Kenrick Faulkner and Michael Vanterpool for their assistance in coordinating the activities here in Anegada to make this groundbreaking ceremony possible. Other BVIEC employees who have assisted in various ways, the media, GIS, our invited guests, government officials, and the entire Anegada community. Should it be the case that I forgot to mention anyone, it was not intentional. And we wish to thank you sincerely for your part you played in making this event happen today. Give yourselves a round of applause. At this time, I would like to invite you now to turn your attention to your right for our groundbreaking initiative as I invite our esteemed guests to proceed to the groundbreaking area.